This is another episode of the Crazy Lounge, and with me today is
Figgy666 as usual.
Yeah, and we decided, since I'm doing all the Final Fantasy stuff anyway, LP and all the games, all kind of stuff, we decided that what better to do to take care of one of the movies, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. So I watched it several times, but I just watched it again just to keep it really fresh in my mind. So I'm really familiar with it again. So
yeah, recently I picked up myself a copy of the Blu-ray version, Advent Children Complete, and it is awesome. It leaves out. Oh, shut up! Come on. It leaves out. It shows a little bit more of Zack, which I'm happy about because Zack is awesome.
Yeah, Zack's awesome, but I'm completely content with my DVD version.
So basically, Danny's gonna be living in the past as usual. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that's a different thing for a different day, though. But if you have not played the game or watched it, you won't understand it. And if you played the game and you haven't watched the movie yet, now would be a good time to go ahead and just skip this because there's going to be major spoilers. Because we're going to go in depth with this movie. So if y'all haven't watched the movie yet, if you played the game and don't want to get spoiled, now is the perfect time to go to a different episode or go watch something else.
Well, I'm going to first describe the characters at first, you know?
Hold up. We'll give you about 5 seconds.
2, 1. Zippo, time's up.
Alright, so if you're still here, that probably means assuming that you've seen the movie and you want to see our take. If you haven't, then what the hell are you still doing here? Alright, carry on. First, we're going to talk about the characters, of course. And
at first, everyone knows that who played this game. The protagonist is Cloud Strife, This movie takes place 2 years after Final Fantasy VII.
Which makes no sense to me, considering the fact that also Dirge of Cerberus takes place like
a year after Advent Children.
Oh, I thought it took place at the same time.
No, it takes place about a year after Advent Children.
Oh.
Well, anyways, Cloud, originally in the game he was 21 years old. Now he's 23 years old. You know.
Doesn't matter about the age.
He's still young and everything. He's basically still dwelling in the past. He has this type of virus called geostigma, and he's dying from it. He doesn't know what to do about it. He feels like he doesn't want to get anyone away. He's just completely in this little mental hellhole, basically.
Yeah, and it's not only geostigma's not only affecting him, but it's affecting a lot of people from Midgar, and especially an Edge.
The Shinra explosion that happened,
and all kind of stuff, and it's especially affecting the little kids. Now, there's a lot of little kids that get affected by geostigma in this movie.
I know there's a few adults in there. Especially they showed a lot more of it in Advent Children Complete. There's even people puking up on the floor. It's so bad. Yeah,
but we'll explain what geostigma actually is later. But Cloud at first doesn't want to get involved with anything. He actually has sort of quit fighting. He now basically just runs a delivery service. But he doesn't even ever go home. Tifa just basically calls orders into him, and he rides around on his motorcycle. And
he basically disconnects himself from everybody, you know. He still keeps the phone, like he still kind of wants to keep in contact, but that's the only thing he keeps contact. He's basically isolated himself from everybody.
Yeah, and he didn't even use the Buster Store, the original Buster Store anymore. If you notice, he grabs the original Buster Store that Zack gave him, and he sticks it in the ground. It's all rusted up and like weathered and all that kind of stuff. He hasn't even used it since the fight with Sephiroth in the first game. In the game, so.
Well, if you play the game, you get an upgrade to the Buster Sword, though.
Yeah, you do. You get an upgrade to the Buster Sword. That's called. I can't remember exactly what the weapon is called. It's not called the Buster Sword, but they actually have a name.
Hard Edge and stuff like that. There's also the Mithril Saber as well.
There's actually an actual name for the weapon, though. I just can't remember what it is on top of my head right now. Anyway, and of course, so basically, Tifa's running the business side of things from the Seventh Heaven bar.
As usual, she's usually the sexy bartender.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I like this. A lot of people like what they've done to their outfit because some people think her outfit in the game, you know, is a lot more hot in a way. Because everyone always made a joke about Tifa's boobs.
Yeah, they really.
I mean, her boobs are still huge.
Hold up. Drop the mic. The mic fell.
She still has huge tits and everything, but they still basically kind of covered them up a little bit, so they kind of wanted to be serious in ways.
I'm sorry, the mic fell and then Batty knocked a cat knocked the microphone over. So anyway,
like I said, they still wanted the reason why they covered up her little boobs a little bit because they wanted to make it a little bit more serious and everything.
Yeah, and all the other characters from Final Fantasy VII make appearances. They're not as prominent. Like the two main characters from the Final Fantasy VII in this game are Tifa and Cloud.
Marlene makes a lot of appearances. There's this other kid named Denzel and everything that basically was lost in like the explosion of Sector 7. He was basically
he lost his family in the Sector 7 explosion and basically took refuge. And Tifa and Cloud took him in.
And it was around the time after after the whole incident with Sephiroth and everything. He was basically one of the first kids that was exposed to Geostigma. Because he was exposed to it when all the other people were exposed to it, so it was contagious.
Yeah.
And also another person that I like that made more appearances than the other guest is Vincent.
I hate Vincent with a passion. Sorry, I hate him.
You're probably gonna get a lot of death threats after this.
Oh well, I don't like Vincent. I will be doing Dirge of Cerberus. I won't be happy about it, but I will be doing it because it is a Final Fantasy game. I've never liked Vincent.
Everyone, at least they showed Zack. Everyone likes Zack.
Zack's cool. Zack is okay, yeah. But I don't like Vincent at all.
Well, one thing I like about Zack and everything in the Advent trilogy shows more as a mentor, and it even shows the destiny when he was in Crisis Core. If you never played Crisis Core, you know it's the prequel to the entire series.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, Zack basically says that in the movie and also in the game, you're my living legacy now. He basically is the one that handed the bus sword, which, the bus sword was handed down from his former mentor as well.
And Jill, yeah. But of course, Cloud is trying to just find a way to get rid of this geostigma and try to figure out try to get control of his life. And of course, the main villains come in. Kadaj, Loke,
and
Yazoo. Which are actually, if you look closely at them and all kind of stuff, like the first time I watched the movie, you look closely at them, they look like Sephiroth clones, kinda. They have the silver hair, they have the body. Except for Loke's a little bit bigger.
I'm not crying.
But anyway, they all look like Sephiroth clones, and come to find out, they are indeed remnants of Sephiroth, and they're just their sole objective is to try to find Mother, who is Genova.
Yep.
And reunite them with the resurrection
of Sephiroth. Which is lovely! Yay!
And all that kind of stuff. So, that's their main objective. And of course, Cloud and company is always getting away. Cloud, being the badass that he is, for the most part, handles Kadaj and all them pretty well. But until there's like one fight where he starts getting really affected by the geostigma and he actually gets overpowered, and it wasn't for the fact that Vincent saves him, he probably would have been dead.
Yeah, and there's another thing that I liked about it. Yeah, it even showed a little bit of Aerith in there as came back as a ghost too, and I thought it was pretty cool. You know who did the voiceover? It was Mina Savari, the girl who did American Pie.
Who?
One of the chicks from American Pie, the one who was dating the choir chick from American Pie.
I don't remember. Okay.
Face palm.
I don't remember.
Anyways, I also like the voice actors too, especially the fact. I like the fact that Tifa was done the voice by Rachel Lee Cook.
Who's that?
She was in that movie. She's All That and stuff like that.
Never seen the movie.
She was also she did a This Is Your Brain on Drugs commercial back in the late '90s.
Oh yeah.
Where she basically distracted and oh my god, she was hot.
I have no idea who she is whatsoever.
Look it up on YouTube. Anyways, well, there's another character I like that I think, at least Barrett, you get to hear him a little bit and everything.
Yeah.
I liked how they changed him. They updated his hair a little bit, give him cornrow.
Yeah,
cornrows.
They did the same thing in Dirge of Cerberus also.
And also like you barely get to see the new airship and everything, but it looks pretty badass.
That's the same airship they use in Dirge of Cerberus. The Shera.
Yep, I liked it. It's pretty awesome.
And it's a full while there, they get in fights with the main villains, Kadaj, Loke, and Yazoo, and all that kind of stuff. And come to find out that they pinpoint the location of Genova to the president of Shinra,
Rufus Shinra.
Rufus Shinra,
He's
who's also affected by geostigma, might I add.
However, he's also helping again with Avalanche.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Avalanche is, then you out of your fucking mind, because basically that's the team that Barrett formed. It's basically with Red 13 and then.
They're not the original Avalanche, though. They're not the original Avalanche.
I know. We know what happened to them in the first game. Biggs,
they're not the original Avalanche.
Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge.
No, there was even an Avalanche before that. There was an Avalanche that was actually before that, and before Crisis Final Fantasy VII. The original Avalanche consisted of Turks.
Ah, so that's it's kind of. I have to say the Turk. And speaking of the Turks, I like Reno and Rude.
Reno and Rude,
they're funny as always.
They're the comedy relief, but I give them balls for trying to stand up to Kadaj and all that kind of stuff. They knew they were going to get their ass kicked, but they tried their hardest, man.
Hey, they did. They definitely. I have to say they definitely atoned for what happened in the first game.
They have freaking balls.
Reno and Rude. I have to say those guys made me laugh. They even made me laugh in the game, and those guys will never change, won't they, Danny?
Yeah, yeah. And also, of course, Kadaj playing the mind games. Told all the kids, like, come with me, I'll save you from your geostigma. And they go there and he poisons like the water or something like that, and they make them drink the water, and he actually starts possessing all the kids. And they put them back in the middle of Midgar for the final parts of the resurrection, and the only piece that they're missing, of course, is Cloud.
Yep, and also one of my favorite parts is when they what summon was that?
Well, that was Bahamut, but I did a little research because I thought it was Neo Bahamut or Bahamut Zero from the original game. Because there's 3 different kinds of Bahamuts you can get. You can get regular Bahamut, Bahamut Zero, and Neo Bahamut. It was neither one of them. It was one that Kadaj summoned himself called Bahamut Sin.
Oh, it was the evil Bahamut.
It was the evil Bahamut. It was called Bahamut Sin.
But I have to say, when they took, I thought it was badass when Cloud took down slayed that fucker and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It was fucking epic.
But he needed help from everybody because like the first person to lift him up was of course Barrett. He lifted him up, and then Yuffie, and then Red 13, and then Tifa. Then he went into the big huge fireball that Bahamut Sin casted, and then of course
Aerith actually helped out.
Aerith, and then Aerith basically knocked him through the fireball, and he's cut up the. But then eventually they get reunited with Mother Genova, and
Sephiroth came along.
Sephiroth came along, and of course the battle between Sephiroth and Cloud.
It was, on the extended version, I'm gonna say this on the extended version. It was even more brutal. Cloud was all banged up and everything. Then at the end, one of my favorite scenes is when that Danny will never see because he's stubborn as a mule like Sheldon Cooper.
I don't do Blu-rays.
Well, Zach said, "You need help with this? Come on, you've already defeated him and stuff like that. You already beat him once, so what's stopping you?"
Yeah, and and then of course at the end of the battle, he looks like he's about to cast Omni Flash. But then he splits his sword into 8 different pieces, and he does the Omni Flash version 8.
Times 8.
Omni Flash version 8, and of course he all the pieces of the sword just completely annihilate Sephiroth, and then Aerith uses the live stream to purify the water, which cures everybody of their geostigma, and then everybody has a big happy ending. Yay!
And like before Cloud killed him, he said, "Remember, you're my life and legacy. Remember, it's okay." So you never made Soldier.
But yeah, and of course, Cloud technically does die in the movie.
He gets shot down.
He gets shot down by
Yazoo's gunblade.
Yazoo's gunblade, and as he's floating through, like they're getting ready to go to Life Spring, Aerith was like, he's sitting there, he opens it, he hears Aerith's voice, goes, "Mom." He goes, "Why does everybody keep calling me Mom?" All that kind of stuff. He's like, "This is too old to adopt." And Zach's like, "Whoop, you hear her? It's not time for you to come down yet." And so they bring him back to life. And they bring him up to the purifying waters, and all the kids have their hands on him. He brings them back to life, and then he starts curing all the kids with the geostigma, making them drink the purified water. And everybody lives a happy ever after. Until Dirge of Cerberus.
But don't worry, don't worry, people. This time Vincent's gonna kick ass and chew bubblegum. Hey, it's the guy who did the voice of Vincent is Steve Bloom.
Who's that?
The guy who did the voice of Spike Spiegel on Cowboy Bebop. They picked a damn good voice actor for that.
Yeah.
I love Vincent. I love the weapons he gets in FF7.
I wish Vincent would jump off a cliff and die. I hate Vincent with a passion.
What do you have against Vincent, man? He's awesome.
He's annoying as hell. He's annoying. I hate him. I hate his moves. He makes no sense. I just don't like him. He's the most useless character in Final Fantasy VII. Besides maybe Kate Sif.
I think Kate Sif's more useless than Vincent.
But the ironic thing is I use Kate Sif more than Vincent.
I even consider Yuffie useless. I find her annoying.
Well, that's your preference. I just don't like Vincent.
I find her as a... This is me, alright? I find, as like, you know... Since I'm in my 20s, you know, I find Yuffie to be basically the annoying teenager.
Yeah.
Which in the first game she's 17, now she's 19. She's still slightly annoying, but she's...
And if I remember correctly, Yuffie was voiced by Christy Carlson Romano.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Kim Possible.
Kim Possible and Ren Stevens from Even Stevens.
Which is hot. Which she's a hottie, by the way.
Christy Carlson Romano did Yuffie.
Showing.
Oh, and the director of Advent Children is Tetsuya Nomura.
And the music is done by,
and of course, the
legendary
Tetsuya Nomura, though, is the creator of the Kingdom Hearts series. And he also did Final Fantasy 13 and 13 too, and he's also going to be doing Final Fantasy Versus 13. He did Crisis Core, I think. All that kind of stuff. But yeah, the creator of Kingdom Hearts is the one that directed this movie, so...
Also, I have to mention the music we all know is done by the great Nobuo Uematsu.
Oh no, I was reading some reviews and all kind of stuff, and a lot of people complain about the music.
I love the music.
I love the music and all kind of stuff. I could see where some people might complain about it. They said it's too sappy, and it said all kind of stuff. It just doesn't fit the style of the movie a lot of times, which I kind of disagree with. But
Come on, you have to love the new version of One Winged Angel by the Black Mages. That is.
People probably don't even know who the hell the Black Mages are.
It's a band done by it's a little rock band that Nobuo Uematsu created. It's an instrumental rock, progressive rock band, which I recommend listening to. They're fucking badass.
Yeah, but a lot of people just don't like the music. They said a lot of people saying that's like the glaring part of the movie. Is the music.
Stupid fanboys.
No, that's not the fanboys themselves. That's Famitsu Magazine and everybody. Like a lot of people saying that the music is like the low point of the movie. That's Famitsu Magazine. That's X-Play. That's One Up Magazine. That's like basically all the magazines. Some of them say the story, but 90% of them say it's actually the music.
What do critics know?
I mean, I kindly disagree, but
they're probably not even fans of the game at all.
No, the guy who Famitsu Magazine's done every Final Fantasy in existence. They've reviewed every Final Fantasy in existence.
I like the music of I like the soundtrack, the Advent Children. I even have the copy of myself and everything. Like there's a lot of fans that actually like the music of Advent
A lot of people don't like this. There's a few of them that said about it was the story because a lot of the story confuses them, which I can see because the first couple of times I watched the movie, the story kind of didn't tie it together very well, but after watching it about another 3 or 4 times, it actually makes perfect sense.
To be honest, I didn't really get into... You're probably going to hate me about this. I didn't get into actual RPGs until I was in college and everything and stuff like that.
A lot of people, RPGs is an acquired taste. But me, I've been playing RPGs since I can remember. Like, my very first RPG I played was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
When I saw Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, I maybe wanted to get a copy... buy the games I can understand a little bit more, and after I ended up having a PC version because the PlayStation version it's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
So
I still, in my opinion, I still think 7 is a little bit of an overrated game. It's a great game, but it doesn't deserve all the praise that everybody gives it.
Well, if you look at it, it was.
I know it's revolutionary for its time. I know it's the first 3D Final Fantasy. I know all that kind of stuff, but I still don't think it's the best game ever created.
I know.
I don't think it's even the best Final Fantasy ever created.
I think it's one of the best 3D Final Fantasies.
I don't even agree with that.
Well, well, so far I like it. It's one of my favorites so far, but I still have to play 9 and stuff like that.
9, in my opinion, is the best 3D Final Fantasy. The best Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 6. I would put Final Fantasy 7 as like my 4th or 5th favorite Final Fantasy.
Well, here's another thing. You're probably gonna hate me first. I already know the ending and everything, but I already know the ending. What sucks though is what happened is just my computer and my game crashed on me just before I could beat the final Bizarro boss, and that really upset me because I was at the final boss and my laptop crashed. It's destroyed now, but I got it on my PSP. But I haven't really had time to play with it because I've been busy with a lot of crap and everything. And
yeah,
but I'm actually getting down to play it. I'm actually pretty far. I'm actually getting back where I left off, and I'm enjoying the game right now. I'm at the part where
I'm trying to hold off on LPing it. I'm trying to hold off on LPing it as long as possible.
I want to see that though.
I will eventually LP it, but I'm trying to hold off on it. I don't want to LP it right now. But anyway, and of course at the end, Cloud learns
he's not alone.
He's not alone, and he forgives himself.
He's gonna have to forgive himself, like shit happened.
And then Sephiroth died. And a lot of people ask me, and a lot of people ask the movie all kind of stuff, because I've watched the movie a lot of times, how in the heck does Sephiroth come back? Well, the thing is, though, Cloud defeats Sephiroth in the first game, but his will is so strong that even though his body gets absorbed in the life stream, his will still
his spirit
lives.
Was in the life stream, and it was wanting.
And his spirit is the one actually taints the life stream, and the tainted life stream is what actually Geostigma is.
That definitely explains Sephiroth. He was a first-class soldier. He basically feels like he hates life because he found he's a clone and everything. He feels like he was just nothing. He's an experiment.
Yeah, but yeah, he has to realize too that he's not the only clone. What about Cloud? What about Genesis?
Cloud is a clone, kind of.
Yeah, Cloud is like. I mean, he's another experiment. But it wasn't Project J. It was another experiment. It wasn't Project Jillian. It was another experiment.
Yeah, but
Project Jillian was Vincent. Never mind.
The thing was, however, if I remember, Cloud lived a basically normal life as a human, though.
He did, but then, like I said,
so he always had the geostigma, the Genova cells inside of him, basically.
He had. But then they became more prominent after he got put in that coma for 4 years with Zack. They really came out, and then he was.
Oh, you mean the time when he got stabbed by Sephiroth?
Yeah, and he went into the coma and he got put in the Mako chamber for 4 years, 5 years, however long it was. He comes out, and when he comes through, he sees his best friend Zack getting killed. All that kind of stuff. So basically, his mind gets shattered, and then his mind recreates itself to where he lived Zack's life. So in his mind, he's Zack. He's not Cloud. And all that kind of stuff. So, and then of course, Sephiroth tells him he's not who he thinks he is, and he goes into a comatose state, and Tifa and them go inside his mind. He pieces his mind back together, and he goes back to his old normal self, realize that he's Cloud, not Zack, and all that kind of stuff. Blah 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 blah. Which is the reason why you say, like the incident of Nibelheim, he says that it was him that experienced it, but Sephiroth mentioned it wasn't him that experienced it, it was actually Zack.
I think most of the time Cloud was at home, really, most of the time.
He was actually in Shinra at that time, but he was just an infantryman. He didn't even make soldier. He went to go try out for soldier, he didn't make soldier, so instead of going back home in shame and facing Tifa and all kind of stuff, he decided to dress himself as a lowly infantryman. And the reason why, like when Tifa takes the tour and all kind of stuff, you always see him with this mask on.
Yeah. And
all kind of stuff. So and basically when Zack and them go in there Sephiroth go in there and go check out the reactor, they tell him to watch Tifa. It was actually Cloud was the Shinra troop that actually watched Tifa trying to prevent her from going inside the Baker reactor. And he never took his mask off though because he didn't want to show his face because he was ashamed for not making Soldier.
And basically, that's when Tifa was learning martial arts, and her dad, and she saw her dad die right in front of her.
But yeah, we got way off topic. We started talking about the video game instead of the movie.
Well, like I said, we are nerdy. We love Final Fantasy series. We love the movie. The movie was great. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, same here. 8 out of 10. There were some little plot holes and all kind of stuff, but for the most part, the action scenes were really good. The music was good. Storyline was good. I mean, albeit a few plot holes, but it was just minor. Everything was good. But the only thing I'm not looking forward to, which would be another Crazy Lounge episode for another time, is that we did Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. If I'm doing everything Final Fantasy, that means I gotta go through the shitty Spirits Within.
I actually like that movie, but
it's a shitty movie, but we will do it.
Alright, we'll have to watch it though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it, but that'll be for another time. Anyway, yeah, I'll give it an out of 10, so overall score out of 10. Good movie. If you're a fan of the Final Fantasy VII,
it's recommended.
It's recommended. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it. If you want to watch it, play the game first, otherwise the story won't make any sense. If you try to watch a movie without playing the game, yeah, you'll be completely lost.
Because this basically this movie
basically the sequel
made for
of the
gamers.
Basically, this movie is the sequel to the game.
This is the ultimate sequel right here.
So if you need to play the game first and watch a movie, if you played the game and haven't watched a movie yet, where have you been? Basically, and all kind of stuff, and yeah, I'll be doing Dirge of Cerberus and all kind of stuff. Even though I admit that Vincent isn't that bad in Dirge of Cerberus, I did not like him in Final Fantasy VII though.
Well, he was dwelling on his wife that was murdered by that crazy mad scientist. What's his name?
Hojo.
I was so glad when I got to kill him in 7. That made me laugh.
But anyway, we're gonna end it here. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We are. I know I haven't done one in about 2 weeks, but we've been busy and I didn't have any ideas. We haven't gone catching any new movies or anything like that. So thought this would be the best idea to do. We're probably doing another one here pretty soon.
My idea.
And anyway, y'all have a good day. This is DKS3A, the Crazy Gamer, and
Figgy66
signing out.